In the early 1970s, Nigeria was a nation trying to heal. The civil war had ended, but peace was fragile. Cities were restless. Weapons were everywhere. And fear walked openly in the streets. Then there was one name. A name whispered in homes. Printed in bold newspaper headlines. Spoken with dread. Ishola Oyenusi. A man whose crimes shocked the nation. A robber who killed without mercy. A criminal who confessed without remorse. And whose execution was meant to warn an entire country. To understand Ishola Oyenusi, we must first understand Nigeria at the time. The Nigerian Civil War ended in 1970. Millions were displaced. Families were broken. Entire regions were traumatized. Weapons from the war flooded the streets. Former soldiers struggled to reintegrate into society. Unemployment soared. Policing was weak and overstretched. Lagos, Nigeria's commercial heart, became a pressure cooker. Crime increased. Armed robbery became common. And violence became normalized. This was the environment that shaped one of the most feared criminals in Nigerian history. Very little is known about Ishola Oyenusi's early life. What is known is that he was born in southwestern Nigeria and spent much of his youth around Lagos. He grew up poor. Uneducated. With limited opportunities. Like many young men of his generation, survival was a daily struggle. Petty crime was often the first step. But for Oyenusi, crime did not stop at survival. He crossed a line few ever returned from. By the late 1960s, Ishola Oyenusi had become deeply involved in armed robbery. But he was not like others. Most robbers wanted money. Oyenusi wanted control and blood. He and his gang operated mainly in Lagos and surrounding areas. They attacked homes, shops, and vehicles. Victims who cooperated were often killed anyway. Men. Women. Children. There was no mercy. Witnesses described him as fearless and terrifyingly calm. He used powerful firearms many believed to be leftover weapons from the Civil War. To encounter Oyenusi was to face death. Fear spread quickly. People stopped going out at night. Businesses closed early. Families slept with one eye open. Rumors about Ishola Oyenusi grew darker by the day. Some said he was possessed. Others believed he could not be killed. Newspapers fed the fear. Every violent robbery seemed to carry his name. He became larger than life, a symbol of chaos in a country desperate for stability. Nigeria had just survived a war. Now it was fighting a different enemy. In 1970, Ishola Oyenusi was finally arrested. The nation breathed a temporary sigh of relief. But what followed was even more disturbing. Oyenusi confessed. Not quietly. Not reluctantly. Publicly. He calmly admitted to killing dozens of people. Some reports say over 30. Others believe the number was higher. He showed no regret. No fear. No shame. His confessions were published in newspapers and discussed on radio. Nigerians listened in disbelief as a man described murder as if it meant nothing. The country was horrified and transfixed. Oyenusi was charged with armed robbery and murder, crimes that carried a mandatory death sentence under Nigerian law. The trial was swift. Evidence was overwhelming. Eyewitnesses testified. Weapons were presented. And his own confessions sealed his fate. In court, Oyenusi remained defiant. He did not plead for mercy. He did not deny his actions. The verdict was inevitable. Guilty. In 1971, Ishola Oyenusi was sentenced to death by firing squad. The execution was public. Crowds gathered. The government wanted it seen. This was not just punishment, it was a message. A warning to criminals. A reassurance to a frightened nation. Reports say Oyenusi faced death without begging. Without tears. Without fear. Then the shots rang out. Just like that, one of Nigeria's most feared criminals was gone. Oyenusi's execution changed Nigeria. Armed robbery laws became harsher. Public executions increased. Security crackdowns intensified. For a time, violent crime declined. But his name lived on. Parents used it to warn children. Journalists referenced it when crime surged. Decades later, Nigerians still remember him as the embodiment of terror. Ishola Oyenusi was a monster. But he was also a mirror. A reflection of a society scarred by war, inequality, and neglect. A reminder of what happens when violence becomes normal, and justice arrives too late. His story is not just about crime. It is about history, trauma, and the fragile line between order and chaos. If you found this documentary insightful, like the video, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think creates criminals like Ishola Oyenusi? And can society prevent the next one?